Somalia is a key member state of IGAD, and therefore everything we do with Somalia or for Somalia is an obligation, is an organizational obligation. And where we are now is to support the government in its rebuilding efforts, in its peace and security efforts, and in its reconstruction efforts, and it's in political efforts. So all those are fronts upon which we work together with the government.
What is the greatest challenge facing IGAD on matters with Somalia and its relationship with member states?
The greatest challenge right now that I think is facing not only IGAD, but Somalia itself, which is part of IGAD, is adequate resources to be able to address the myriad of problems that require to be resourced. So I think if we can all get our act together and support programs technically, professionally, financially, then we'll be in a better shape than we are right now.
Is IGAD partly involved in the Brussels agreement, or you are 100% in the Brussels agreement? That was just the New Deal.
We were 120%.
Excellent.
Because because it's about Somalia. Somalia is our country. It's about IGAD. Therefore, it's our thing.
Are you optimistic about IGAD mission in Somalia and the relationship also among member states?
Are you talking about the missions, meaning the military missions?
Military missions, restructuring missions, reconstruction mission. Are you very optimistic? You working as Secretary General for IGAD, are you optimistic for Somalia and also relationship among member states?
I'm very optimistic. I do know that the Somalis have finally made a decision. They have decided they're going to end the transitional nature of their government, that they now have a non-transitional government. I do know that they have their own plans, some of which I'm privy to because of where I sit. And I do know that if they stay on course as they are, definitely there will be a big change in Somalia. And basing my reasoning on the fact that we do expect under the New Deal for extra support to be available to Somalia, then they will be able to operationalize some of those.
What is IGAD's role on peace initiative in Ethiopia with the ONLF rebel movement and anything to do with that? Is IGAD aware? Is it involved? Is it part of that?
IGAD uses different mechanisms in its peace and security efforts. The issue about ONLF right now is not something that I'm dealing with in my office directly, but I do know that there is a discussion that's going on through officials in Kenya government on the issue. But I also do know that the ONLF issue is a very minor matter because of the changes of the development programs and the growth that's taking place in Ethiopia. People are quitting that organization one by one. Therefore, there's a natural dissertation of the organization. Therefore, it's thinning out on its own.
What is your last question? What is your message to all Somalis living in the diaspora? What role should they play, or what advice will you give them as a person who has the first-hand experience dealing with internal politics in Somalia and also in Africa? What is your advice to them?
My advice is the easiest way to end the Somali quagmire is for the Somalis to decide that it's going to end. Then it's going to end. I think the issue of Somalia can only be ended with certainty by the Somalis themselves. And therefore, every Somali who has the goodwill of Somalia at heart should strive to add what contribution he or she can make to end the problems that have been bedeviling that country for too long.
There is the issue of media misinforming the general public about politics and what's going on in Somalia. What is IGAD's role in making sure that some medias do not end up more confusing Somalis and creating unnecessary rumors, and helping and making sure that the correct information is coming out from IGAD as Somalia member state?
Well, first of all, we do not have, an oversight responsibility over media houses. I mean, these are independent businesses. A lot of them are private sector led. Therefore, we do not really have a say over what they say. But my advice to them is that every false information that they propagate, they are contributing to the destruction of people's livelihoods and lives in Somalia, and therefore it's not positive. And therefore, if they're in the media industry because of a positive contribution, that's not the way to go. However, we do know that if the worst comes to worst, and there are people who are really negative effects. I mean, have negative effects on peaceful coexistence or organization as groups of countries. We will not hesitate to declare such groups as negative groups and call them police and deal with them accordingly.
Thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Minnesota in Minneapolis.
Thank you very
much. We
much.
really appreciate and hope we see you again.
Thank you very much. God bless you. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.